A very good morning and welcome to the program. My name is Medina Azaki. Now, today we'll be looking at a very unifying factor, and that is poverty. Now, every year, October 17, the world, including Nigeria, pauses, review, and reflect on one of humanity's most persistent challenges, poverty. The International Day for the Eradication of Poverty is a global observance that seeks to renew commitment, galvanize action, and amplify the voices of those most affected by deprivation and inequality. The United Nations emphasizes that poverty is not only about lack of money, but it's also about lack of respect, voice, and access to justice. The 2025 theme, ending social and institutional maltreatment by ensuring respect and effective support for families, reminds government and societies to create systems that protect people and not punish them. According to media report, 89 million Nigerians, which is about 40% of the population, live below the poverty line. Rising inflation, high fuel prices, and the removal of subsidies have worsened living conditions, forcing many middle-class families into hardship. Rural dwellers and women-led households are the most affected due to poor access to credit, farmland, and basic services. Experts warn that without strong rural investment, Nigeria may struggle to reduce poverty before 2030. This year's theme highlights the family as a key support structure in fighting poverty. It calls on government to ensure that public institutions treat families with fairness and respect, especially those in vulnerable conditions. And the International Day for the Eradication of Poverty aligns directly with the Sustainable Development Goal 1, which is no poverty, an agenda that Nigeria is part of under the UN's 2030 Sustainable Goals, the SDGs. Despite the establishment of agencies and initiatives such as NAPEP, the NSIP, and the NPower, experts say implementing gaps and corruption often weaken the impact. Now, this and more are some of the issues I'll be discussing with my guests, but that will be just after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. I'm joined by in-house economist Malan Aliu. A very good morning and thank you for joining us in spite of the protest.
Thank you very much.
What a Monday to start with.
Yes, and also we are discussing a topic that is so much related to what is going on in the social system.
Yes, but the Free Nnamdi Kanu, protest, even though it's not justified according to some people, isn't it high time that a decision is taken? It's either the man is being jailed, people know that he's serving his jail time, or he's been freed.
Government is very careful of doing such, in my understanding, for many reasons. One is that when you see human rights lawyers advocating for ABC, and then definitely they have one or two loopholes, and government is carefully not trying to jeopardize the aspect at which the reason why they apprehended the gentleman, and however the economy also is looking for stability, and you cannot create instability, because at the end of the day, if somebody is presented in a court, the next thing is granting of bail, and after granting of bail, there is relative peace in the southeast, and we don't know what they are coming out with it. So it's a dual-edged sword. To keep him is a problem, to release him is a problem. So the right decision with the right thinking, we'll solve the matter.
But the right decision and the right thinking has to come up very fast. We can't continue to start a Monday, a very first day of the week with protest. Today it is one. We don't know what will happen in the next 2 months, in another 3 months. Isn't it high time that whatever decision that is going to be taken is taken once and for all, and so that the country will move and then the economy will be stable?
I think it's high time for government to engage political class from the region, and also to come and intervene for many reasons. If you can see, the ruling party is not taking over all the state where Nnamdi Kanu came from.
Yes.
So when you have,
so there's an understanding.
There is a little political uplift between the government in power and those political icons in the region. So if they can put some political decision in it, it will add value to what the government is trying to do. But unfortunately, if you allow human rights lawyers, today they will come with Nnamdi Kanu, the next tomorrow they may decide to come, because yesterday they came in the name of judicial officers. Remember vividly, we saw Showore, we saw Dembello and other people just a month ago around October 1st parading themselves, and they're looking justice for those people, especially the police, in terms of their payment and remunerations, which has not also favored them.
Okay, so it's like there's so many addition to the request. An underlying agenda, sort of.
We don't have an underlying agenda with regard to human rights activism in Nigeria. Today, we are calling for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, but we have never seen those same activists calling the attention of Nnamdi Kanu about nationhood, because if Nnamdi Kanu has no call, the Nigerian state as a zoo is a different matter all the time. And if he has not attempted to claim lives of army, police, and other state security, is also a different case. So once you have a legitimate affair, a legitimate agitation, the human right can come out legitimately and claim. But the contention that we are facing is that nobody can predict the outcome of releasing Nnamdi Kanu and the and the struggle of his own agitation for a Biafran state.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So that's a kettle of fish for another day.
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's come to poverty. Since 1992, when it was officially designated as the day for eradication of poverty, 3 decades down the line, or more than even 3 decades down the line, poverty has been on the rise. So what do you make of it? Is it that this declaration is just a political statement?
No. It cannot be a political statement, because.
So how do you explain it has not reduced?
No, it has gone with the statistics.
Okay.
The Nigerian population changes every year, and there is a projected growth rate. If you check in the 1960s, the population of Nigeria then was about 60 million. Then in the 70s becomes about 63 to 70 million.
If you are talking about population, China in 1960 or in 1970 was somewhere not where they are today in terms of population.
No.
So why are we always using population as an excuse for our rise in poverty?
No, there is one adage in my language, Hausa, that in Dembu yeyawa to baya jimai. There is a spice.
But you can carry the money.
You can carry it, and if you have, but the person that will add the oil has to understand, has to be accountable, and has to also be more strategic in doing so. What I'm trying to say here is that if you take the definition of poverty from the 1960s to date, and you take the scenario about poverty and how it refuses to change. In fact, we are having additional numbers of people that are plunged into poverty, because in the early Nigerian nationhood there was better what is called food security, because in every home there is a provision of what is called a strategic reserve in all locations in Nigeria. But with the changing attitude, with the coming of petrodollars, with the coming of political class, with the so much military coups, and with the so much agitation for fragmentation of the nation, Nigeria was distorted. Nigeria now became more, instead to be more more unified, it's now become ununified, because you find a situation where social vices increases, social divisions increases, even from the religious sect. You find in the early nationhood of Nigeria, Islam is only having some few fractions within Islam, and they are understanding themselves. But later we saw the surge from the Izala to Izala 1 and 2, from the Izala to Shia, from Shia to Jama'at to Ahl Sunnah, the Da'wah, and we all witness the consequences. And all this social crisis create a chance for additional poverty, because anytime...
How?
Excellent. Once you kill a farmer, you have reduced number of farmers. Once you...
Are you in any way saying that they are members of farmers?
No. In any sect in Nigeria, in any social clan in Nigeria, there is somebody who is an educationist. There is somebody who is a farmer.
Okay, yeah.
There is somebody who is a trader. And once there is social disturbances, there are possibilities of eliminating core individuals that are very strong, and then taking them out from a number is to reducing the number of people who are contributing to the growth of that same sector. Like, let me give you an example, the banditry of recent times.
Yes.
That you are taking the entire community out of their farmland and you seize their livestock. That's a very big opportunity for poverty to strike.
But who is to be blamed in all of this?
So we blame the social system, we blame the politicians, and we also blame international community for not doing the best to contain, because there are different theories with regard to what is taking place in our communities, domestically and internationally.
Okay, Manager Leo, being an economist, greed and crude capitalism has been what has been driving poverty, especially in developing countries like Nigeria. And then the political class now understands that, and they use it to their advantage.
No, you see, when you begin to define economic structures of the world from capitalism to imperialism, there is what WW rose to develop. That is the development stage of a nationhood. You start from nowhere, you become to somewhere, and at the end of the day, you now define the social system that can distribute income. We have seen within the same range of period how Asian tigers were able, as developing nations, become more stabilized, because the application...
So why is it so difficult for us to establish a social system that guarantees equity and inclusive growth?
Stable political system. We never had a stable...
Since 1999 till date,
No. When you take...
No, I don't want us to start blaming the military.
No.
Democracy.
Nobody blames the military.
No, we've had democracy for 26 years now.
Yes.
Is that not stability?
No, it's not the stability we are looking for.
So which stability?
The stability we are looking is once you bring a social system with policies, you have to adhere to the policies for the implementation of the policies over a long period of time. Changing political system has also affected our development aspirations.
What do you mean by changing
exactly
political system?
Once, for instance, when you come with 7-point agenda, you want to improve in power, you want to improve in agriculture, you want to improve in this, and the next system from the same party will come and then abandon the same strategy of a political system. So
come up with something else.
Yes, so all our political parties did not come with a clear agenda of national development plan, and they refuse to sustain it. If you check the APC of today, that is now making about 12 years in power, from the Buhari era to President Bola Tinubu's era. Buhari finished 8 years, and now Tinubu is counting 3 years. And when you put it's 11 years, it's enough to take a nation to a greater height if you have sustained your policy, if you had sustained.
Okay, so what is the driving force that political parties don't sustain their own manifesto?
Because they don't come with good manifesto for economic planning. Let me give you from under APC, the first APC government under Buhari came with a policy of zero importation of PMS.
Yes.
With full capacity, refining capacity. But he finished 8 years without any. That is from one system. Then how do you...
But he managed to make sure that the Dangote refinery is completed.
Forget about Dangote refinery. When you cannot, as Minister of Petroleum, make refineries under you to work, the Dangote is just an effort that he has sustained over a period of time.
But you should also be given credit.
Yes.
That under his administration, he was able to make it complete.
Well, we are not exonerating, but we are also complaining because
but the same person came up with the food, agriculture, and he was able to achieve certain progress in that. He said, for the first time, we're able to have our own made in Nigeria rice.
See, I have made Eradicated rice. I have eaten made in Nigeria rice since 1970s.
And that is you.
Listen.
Yeah.
Made in Nigeria rice. Let me tell you something that you don't know.
Okay.
All the parties, the classification of the parties under President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, we brought partners in agriculture. What they do is that they come with a seedling system that is favorable in some climate. After developing and then doing the soil test, then you now expand production. It's a good effort if you can have that one. That is why when you say made in Nigeria rice.
No, what I'm saying is that yours didn't work. You brought the parties. You brought the best seed.
Yes.
But there was no agricultural policy in place to make it work. It didn't work. But somebody else came after President Jonathan, who was late President Buhari, and agriculture worked. So I'm saying that for some people, for some governments, some policies worked because they were very deliberate about it.
Medina, as an economist, you come with your policy, you come with your promise, and you come with and we wait for your implementation. The rice pyramid you saw in Abuja, which was constructed, that is not enough to prove what is called food security.
Can you compare that era with what we have today? Today you have gone into full importation. What will run away from?
It's not full. It's not full importation.
What is it?
It's partial,
granted waivers,
and that emergency situation is what is required for the economy. That you have over 133 million Nigerians that are plunged into multidimensional poverty from the result of that previous attempt.
How do you explain to the farmer today who can't even go to the farm because imported products have taken the market away from him?
Medina, let me tell you.
He buys fertilizer for 50,000 naira.
Yes.
And today the corn that he produces is being sold 22,000 naira in the market, or even 18,000 naira.
Medina is like somebody who wants to marry a wife. And he said he marries from Cameroon.
Yes.
While Cameroonians have family in Nigeria. Let me be... Look, whatever we produce, the fertilizer Nigerians are complaining is also a dumping fertilizer from other developed states.
Whose fault?
Government fault. So I see no reason why people cannot differentiate between importing rice and importing fertilizer. And the truth of the matter, who removes subsidy? What type of subsidy do we require to make production profitable? What type of intervention do we require to have food on the table of Nigerians? You can only understand that. That's why at the beginning of this program, Medina, we said that there's nothing you do in economic planning without knowing the number of those who you are planning for. It starts from the household.
But we've been talking about a plan, a national plan.
No.
A national plan that never worked. Even late President Muhammadu Buhari came up with a plan that in 10 years, in 10 years, certain people will be lifted. Is it 10 million? Will be
10
lifted?
million annually will be lifted
Yes,
out of poverty
for 10 years. Yes.
Now stop there.
Okay.
That shows that there are 100 million in poverty at that particular. Would that empirical presentation
Yes.
of lifting 10 million annually, that shows that you have 100 million below poverty line.
And would have lifted them up.
You cannot lift them out when you understand the metric ton of food required, the price at which they can buy, and the income at which can sustain household. Look, when you take 2022 Global Food Security Index, immediately you take that one, you will see where Nigeria belongs. You have classified Nigeria as maybe part of the developing state or a developing economy. The truth of the matter is that the Food and Agricultural Organization is doing its best to make sure that there is food that is available in all nations. But who can do that is your policy on ground to make production. What the survey? Survey was conducted in 113 countries. Everybody can Google Global Food Security Index 2022. When you Google that, you will see the parameters that is used to define what is called food security. The food security aspect, the first thing in it is availability of the food. The second is affordability of the food.
Yes.
The third one is quality and safety of what you are consuming. After taking all this range, about 113 countries, Nigeria was able to make it not number 1, not number 2, not number 50, not number 100. Nigeria is 103. This showed us globally, Nigeria is not in a better position of having a secured environment that is food secured for many reasons. One, if you
What is the relationship between food and poverty?
The relationship, it depends on the matrix you are using. If you take monetary poverty, which was done recently, the availability of money in the pocket of household. For instance, how many people can go to market and purchase a 50 kilogram of produced rice at 70,000 naira, locally produced? How many can do that? And this is, and once poverty is defined when you are.
Okay, so let's even ask the question: what is the definition of poverty, and who is a poor person? Because
excellent.
You hear English like multidimensional poverty.
Yes, monetary
poverty. You hear abject poverty. But poverty is still poverty.
Yeah.
So who is a poor person?
A poor person is somebody who cannot attain basic necessities of life. Anybody who cannot attain to basic, that's the food you eat, the shelter where you sleep, the little knowledge that require you to relate with the next person, you are poor.
Okay, so let's do a scenario.
Yeah.
I'm given a free shelter to put my head.
Yes.
I'm being given food to eat.
Yeah.
I can, even if I can't.
Who told you? You are an anonymous consumer. You are autonomous. So there is what is called.
So, but I'm not poor then.
No. You are poor because you don't have income in the first instance. Where is the income? You are giving free.
Okay.
Let me tell you, cost of pollution. Cost. Anywhere you see pollution, that pollution is not at zero cost.
Okay.
Even in a local community, when you feel a smoke, it has a cost.
To eat.
So
what is the cost of smoke?
The cost of smoke, it will never be zero because you are burning down green. That is the cost.
Okay.
And you are wasting energy. That is the falseness. The energy that you are generating can generate electricity, can generate a lot of economic ingredient for you to prosper. But when you feel, if you feel smoke, then definitely something is being wasted, and that is why the cost will never be zero.
Or something will be produced.
Yes, no cost. We are giving emphasis zero cost to pollution, because now if you inhale too much, as a consumer, it affects your life. and it comes back with additional cost of maintaining your health.
Okay, so for those who begin to coin or give semantics to poverty, abject poverty, multidimensional poverty, are they running away from the real issue of addressing poverty rather than giving it a multidimensional
No,
name?
it depends on the perspective you are looking. And that is why I will not look at the United Nations definition of poverty.
Okay.
I will not look at...
So let's look at the Nigerian poverty.
I will not even look at Nigerian definition of poverty.
So whose poverty are you going to look at?
I'm going to look at what an Islamic philosopher, Ibn Khaldun, because to me, it's the best definition of poverty and the classification of poverty. There is two classifications from from Ibn Khaldun. Spiritual poverty, that is the first thing. That people will become blind, stealing billions because spiritually they are in poverty.
Primitive accumulation of wealth.
Yes, it's poverty that is causing it. But spiritual. Then
why is it related to spiritual?
It is because if you understand the dynamics of life and the philosophy
that nothing is yours.
That even if you accumulate all that, look at the primitive. Look at your definition. Primitive accumulation
of wealth.
You want everything. You become a mad person. It is a mad person.
So that brings us to the question that it's not the person who cannot afford basic needs that is poor, but also the person who engage into primitive accumulation of wealth. So poor. Who is even poorer among the two?
The one that is poor is one that is spiritually down. Okay. But if you talk of physical poverty, that is inability to meet the basic needs of life. And even under Islamic perspective, the reason why you are eating food is not because you want to have strength to go and play football.
It's not to come to work.
The essence of taking food, halal and haram, is there to guide you to worship the Almighty. Because the essence of creation under Islam perspective has created man to worship him. So that is why you are eating food. So when you go to capitalism, the reason why a producer is producing is as a result of profit. To some, normal profit. If you allow them, they go into abnormal profit. And that is exactly why Nigerians suffer when farmers were producing enough for the economy. Then clandestine, some group of men came in between. They are called speculators. They buy everything and they hoard it just to have monetary gain. And that is what is called inefficient distribution of those goods. So in poverty, spiritual and physical are identified as the main causes of poverty. And we have said that anybody who is deficient philosophically, morally, and also deficient in basic needs.
There's also moral poverty, isn't it?
Yes.
For people who don't have morals, who don't have any value.
Yes. And because
what about psychological poverty?
No.
There's no any poverty.
There is no psychological because why it is called moral is because of sentimental. Because whatever we eat is attached to some cultural background. It has attachment to traditional background and it has attachment to environmental background. Some that are taking fura, they can only take fura where they are seeing millet.
They can't take fura, but if they have milk.
No, if you take milk, you are not taking fura.
Okay. So it has to be balanced.
But so the sentimental way of having what to eat has to do with your environmental background, moral background, and the concept of halal and haram. Because some can eat any type of meat. So, but let me tell you, this poverty, by definition, let me borrow Alaji, former economic and minister, who said he can only define
in the 60s.
Yes, in the 90s.
Okay, in the 90s.
Alaji Abubakar Alaji, he said he can only define poverty, but he has never tested what poverty is in his life. From childhood to manhood, he cannot say this is how and this is what is called poverty. So
For somebody like that.
For somebody like that who is planning for an entire nation where you have a large number of people that are striking,
and who has never seen poverty.
Who has never seen poverty in life.
So how would he plan for
this? It is expected that he uses that his background. Do you understand? To translate that, but his
so how did he translate?
No, he couldn't because of the social connotations. But if we are to go into much discussion about this poverty, we have understood that the universal definition of poverty is that once you are deficient in what to eat, what to wear, where to sleep, on how to be educated and maintain your living standard of health, you are stricken by poverty. But what are the determinants? One is income level.
So is that where this multi-dimensional poverty comes in? There's an, step-by-step or segregation of income.
Yes, not only social stratification, not segregation. If you take, for instance, the minimum wage that Nigeria is applying, you now take to measure a standard of life of only 4 in a household. 70,000 cannot measure what to eat alone. So you are already poor. The second aspect is when you take the average class in Nigeria, the average class, people that are expected that to have what to eat, to have good health, that is, you have a better health connection, and then you have better education. When you check the education, you realize that it is determined by income. And if you take an average class in Nigeria, given four number of households, that same income cannot take care of education, then you are poor too. So
if your salary cannot take you home, then you are poor.
Yes, you are poor. So now these are people with income, and what is the percentage of those that have income in an economy of over 239 million people? Then you now realize that those who are stricken by poverty, over 89 million cannot be part of those above poverty line. Meaning that.
But when you hear the numbers, even though there is no some kind of genuine statistic to confirm that 89 million Nigerians are actually poor. I'm seeing the IMF saying about 139 Nigerians cannot meet up their needs. I just saw that.
It is.
130. So 139 is a population of some countries put together.
Of course, it's a regional population.
It's a regional population in some places.
Yes.
In other places, it's a whole country.
Yes.
Being poor.
Yes.
Living below the average line.
Yes, and we can see it vividly. Myself and you in 2022, we discussed when Bureau of Statistics, there are statistics on ground. If you remember.
No, 2022 is a long time, 3 years.
No.
3 years down the line.
What I am trying to tell you.
Yeah.
In 2022, that was the last year of 8 years of President Buhari. Bureau of Statistics released a result, which myself and you discussed, multidimensional poverty. That multidimensional poverty is that people that have work are prostrated. Now, if you check the situation even before, in 2022, it was even better. Today
is worse.
Today is worse for 2 reasons. The removal of subsidy has plunged car owners to abandon the cars. People that are having work to do, to reduce number of days to attend to work, and that has reduced income to petty traders around, because them also who depend solely on those who are having daily income or salary cannot have all their potential
and
customers.
Those who come to work come with their food.
And not only that, also, if you check the transport system, the cost an individual was transporting from point A to point B has tripled. So all these are the are the signals that is showing you.
Okay, before we come to why government policies, consistently put the middle class, because as we speak today, I don't think there's any middle class anymore. It is either you're super rich or you're super poor.
Yes, that's the scenario.
Okay.
The elimination of the average class.
Why is government so focused on eliminating the middle class? Because every policy is targeted at the middle class.
It's targeted because of the government policy. Anytime you emphasize people should go to farm, are you getting it? Instead for you to bring sophistication to farming.
You still allow them to use the crude method.
And you are still and you force them to use crude method. And you now force them to buy the input at higher prices. You are deliberately taking them to poor stage. And that is the scenario. When people are emphasizing on fertilizer, I was in this country in 83, when Buhari came with the policy of back to the land. And MPK, that is 50 kilogram, was 1 naira 80 kobo. 1 naira 80 kobo.
Yeah.
Because there are several of interventions that allow that price to be what it is and what encourage farmers to go. All this English I'm blowing is from the corn, from that production. So if I'm speaking on agriculture, I'm speaking with fashion because I saw what it was when government was serious about agriculture, and I saw the price we sold a bag, 100 kilo of maize was 13 naira.
So you're a product of agriculture.
I'm a product of agriculture, 100%.
A proud product.
A proud product.
Okay, so let's look at this year. The United Nations is saying focus on the family. Poverty is not just about not having money, but it's about having a voice, about having respect. But here in Africa, if you don't have money, then you don't have respect, then you don't have a voice. Even in your household, if you don't have money, and you are in a round table kind of meeting, the person who has money is the one who speaks, is the one who has the voice, is the one who makes the decision. So even if you are the eldest or you're the most senior in that family, you just have to keep quiet.
The United Nations is giving an average parameter that is used internationally. No, they are not speaking to us.
That's what I'm saying. They're not speaking to us.
They are not speaking to us because what we want,
because it doesn't even apply to us.
What a Nigerian consumer is looking is if he can eat and keep quiet.
Okay, so the Nigerian consumer is just about eating and keeping quiet.
No,
if he doesn't want to have respect.
No. Listen, if he can feed himself and have his mouth shut, it's even good for him. Because that's why I gave you how Nigerians continue to expand IDP camps. Who do you expect to speak in IDP camps when you don't have a shelter? Once your farmland is taken over, and then your livestock was taken over, and your pride was also taken away, then what language is it expected from you to speak? What you are already decapitated. Completely.
And you have lost touch.
You have lost touch to even your human sense. People should be aware that myself and you are speaking here because it's a conducive environment. Somebody stood for it to be what it is. That's why we are speaking here. You cannot do this in many parts of Nigeria. But what I am...
Yes, as we wind down, how do we... Because today... Aside from the government policies, the average Nigerian and the average person in the world is being faced by climate change. He's being faced by crisis. He's being faced by regional crisis because our international crisis, because the world is a global village. So whatever happens in one country affects him wherever he or she is. So how do we begin to navigate out of all of this crisis, from the humanitarian to the climate change to the global crisis itself?
Once price mechanism is controlled, you can be...
Who is responsible for controlling price mechanism?
there is monetary authorities in every nation in charge of controlling monetary stability. And that is how your income can be protected. Because
you and I have been talking about price control for decades.
Yeah.
I mean, for years.
No, when we say price control, does not mean markup price.
Okay.
What we mean by price control is to bring policies that can stabilize prices over a long period. For instance, if income remains unchanged and you are taking income since 2022 and inflation is growing from 11.5% to 15 to 20
to even 30
to even 30, then prices are not stable. But once you have inflation declining from 30 to 25, then your income is being protected. And then that.
But let me ask you, Manager Aliu, the kind of inflation we are having today, a reduction in inflation, but that does not translate into reduction of prices in the market. How do you kind of explain that kind of? Is it a concocted kind of inflation? Because here you have an inflation of 18%, but it doesn't reflect in the prices of things in the market.
When you check the reduction, and you have to look at the measures adopted in bringing out the sampling. In every survey that is conducted, there is what is called basket of goods that are used. Prior to rebasing exercise of our basket of goods, some components were not taken into consideration. For instance, nobody took a component that is significant as far as your income and my income are concerned. For instance, how much do I spend on data monthly? How much do I spend on airtime monthly? How much is generated from content creators, which was not an income before? These are some of the things that were added. So whatever that is changing inflation, if MPR remains static, meaning that if the central bank controls 27.50 as the MPR that is obtainable within the economy, then that defines the rate of interest that manufacturers and investors are taking. So once that is high, then definitely whatever they produce, you are not expecting price of pig milk to reduce, price of toothpaste to reduce.
Then why is inflation reducing in that case?
The inflation that is reducing, one, they take a multiplier. For instance, the pump price of PMS that was previously by the
so it's more of a manufactured inflation reduction. That's what we have.
No.
Not a realistic inflation.
No. It's what we said. Even no matter what figure is given in inflation, it's just to guide the authorities, fiscal and monetary. Do you understand?
It doesn't reflect on the prices. In the market.
It is reflecting. But when you check why are farmers crying in the first instance if prices of food are not going down? Remember, before today, the most disturbing inflation was food inflation. It's above 44%.
But rice is still 70,000 naira or 75. It's only corn.
And listen,
only maize.
Listen, and why farmers are crying if the price is still 70? That reduction.
There's not any reduction. That's what I'm telling you.
There is a reduction
of 75,000 naira.
The same 70, it was previously 80 and above.
This 70 or 75 has been with us since the beginning of this year.
No, it depends on the brand of price.
That's what I'm telling you. It's still the beginning of this year.
No. I go to market.
Maybe you buy foreign rice, but I buy made in Nigeria rice, and I've been buying it for 75,000.
I buy both foreign and local. For tuwon shinkafa, I buy local. And the price has reduced from 150 to 120. That's 100 kilo. That's what I purchase. For the foreign rice, which I used to buy, from 110 to 90,000. So these are reduction which I saw. And even the staple food in the market, the prices of Irish has reduced.
How much is a basket of Irish?
Yesterday, I bought it 5,000 naira, which was 18,000 naira. Same period, year on year.
Last year it was 18,000.
18,000 naira.
Okay.
But I bought it yesterday.
But I bought beginning of this year, even some few months ago. I bought it for 4,000 naira.
Of course, it depends on where you are buying. I bought mine, for instance, 4,000. So the prices has reduced.
Oh, to you?
Yes.
Not to many of us. Not to, okay. Manager, for citizens to have inclusive growth, to have equity distribution of wealth, where should the government begin to draw the line and say, look, going forward, this is what we need to do? Because government programs have not helped in eradicating poverty, from the the Empower to the National Social Investment Program to NAPEP, if I remember, those days during the Obasanjo's administration. Every government program that is targeted about to reducing poverty has never worked.
Yes, because like rightly pointed out by IMF, there are some inefficiencies and corruption.
Okay, and just IMF.
Yeah.
Just yesterday, 3 days ago, the IMF listed about a number of countries, and we're not that on that list. Countries that are, emerging economies, countries that have shown progress in their growth. We are not part of that. Those countries.
Because when IMF
again, if I heard somewhere like Cotonou here.
Yeah,
Benin Republic.
Yes.
And I asked myself, smaller countries showing prospective growth.
Yes.
And here we are.
When they have efficient transport and you don't have efficient transport, they will record growth. When they have better agricultural policies with better stabilization in prices, they have. Remember Nigeria, IMF, Nigeria projected 3.5, later upgraded to 3.9% growth. Do you know that of Benin Republic?
No.
It is 7.5 GDP growth.
Wow.
So when you compare, how can that be the same? So it depends on the commitment of government, the efficiency of government, and how do you compare your efficiency with Benin Republic? Once, for instance, the 2024 budget of 27.5 trillion, putting along the 2025 of 54.9 trillion. It's not effective up to 2025. It's not effective up to now. How can you monitor the speed of growth with those economies that are conscious of time? Time is very necessary, because
as far as economy is concerned,
the reform agenda, the entire world economy. Rwanda has witnessed a good reform. Today, you have a flying taxi
in
Rwanda. A flying taxi, while we are still struggling to have efficient railway. So you cannot compare the growth as far as efficiency in transport is concerned. Today, Nigeria has...
Is the government of the day really worried about its economy?
Yes,
really worried.
They are worried.
Or is it more concerned about politics?
They are worried, but what they did, no African state, no state on planet has done it, to remove subsidy without provisions. Are you getting it?
Yes.
Remember, I'm a proponent of removing subsidy, but with the total belief of refining capacity to work. It is now, look at the contention, look at the grievances, look at those who are fighting the single refinery in Nigeria. It only happening in Nigeria. It cannot happen in Morocco. It cannot happen in Algeria, neither Egypt.
Okay. I'm actually, as we go, corruption protest, hunger protest, name it, from Nepal to Madagascar and to Morocco. The Gen Z are saying things have to change, and they're all related to poverty. It's because more people cannot afford basic needs, and that is why protests are coming up everywhere. And the government of the day is sitting down and watching this protest. What should it be doing to revive or to review its policies?
To stop sharing the gains of democracy to state governors and federal government, to take that gains to the people. You cannot take 2.1 trillion in 30 days and then share it to the tiers of government, and people cannot have something to eat. And it is wrong for government to begin to understand that the rate of poverty which has been announced by the World Bank and IMF to think that the figure is incorrect. The figure may likely be higher than what has been presented. So it is good for all of us to understand that unless there is an equitable distribution of resources, there is likelihood to have civil unrest, because it has happened because some well-enlightened communities in the world are educating Africans of their strengths. And that is what happened in Niger Republic, in Burkina Faso. All these countries are recording growth. Then at their agriculture, they are seeing changes. So
they have deliberate policies.
They have deliberate policies to go. You cannot wait to pass a budget in December, and then the budget cannot work for 9 months. This thing is not
What
good.
is the reason?
No matter the reason, it's not good.
No, for you as an economist, what could be the reason?
I cannot.
That you postpone your own budget, or you abandon your own budget. So how do they finance capital projects?
If budget cannot be implemented, you cannot.
So it means all of the capital projects
You cannot.
But we've seen roads, construction of roads going on.
Continuation of 2024.
Okay.
Because it has been said clear by the Accountant General.
What is the impact?
The impact
of not having your budget implemented.
The impact can be delayed growth, because the anticipated growth will not be there. The more you inject, the more the multiplier effect.
Madam Shali, we can go on and on as far as economics and poverty is concerned.
Yes.
I would thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful.
All right.
Thank you.
And that's the show from me, Medina Azaki, and the whole team here. It's bye for now.